All right, what's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. We got the Brewers on again. The Miz is on the mound. He's pumping 102 right down the zone against the Padres. We're going to watch some ball again, talk some ball. Just have a nice, relaxed, laid-back video. So strap in. Let's watch an inning or so of some Brewers baseball, and we'll talk about it. There's 100 on the edge to Machado. I don't know if there's a better pitch in baseball than, 100 miles an hour. So the Miz he's thrown, it's 60-something of the fastest pitches in all of baseball this year, which is just unbelievable. It's almost inevitable. I talked about this in the last video in which I watched the Brewers about arm injuries and how they're on the rise. And a lot of people like to blame the pitch clock, but I blame the fact that guys are throwing 100 miles an hour now. You know, and it's just like the human body is not meant to do that. 90 is kind of like, I think, technically, physically, like the limit for the UCL. And so anything over that, like countless times, is going to put, obviously, a ton of strain on the arm, especially with someone as tall and lanky as Miz, in which he gets most of his velocity simply from torque. I mean, that's just an unbelievable pitch. Mitchell makes a nice play. Tatis is off the bag. And Andrew Vaughn just looked like he died. What kind of slide was that? What just happened? Yeah, he went in really hard. He was way off the bag. He thought that was down. Look at Tatis go. I mean, he's... Mitchell doesn't have the best throwing arm of all time. Okay, it wasn't as bad as I thought. Ooh, yeah. That's an awkward play. You get a lot of weird, like, potentially dangerous plays in instances like that don't happen a lot because it's not practiced. You know, like safety isn't practiced in that instance. You never practice running back to first base after getting caught off guard. That's gross. 94-mile-an-hour slider. A lot of people think it's a cutter, but it's actually a true slider. Do I have a baseball? The way he holds it is like a true slider. You know, so it's just a really hard, fast slider. 94 again. I think it's been up to 96, which puts it at one of the fastest off speeds ever. I think the fastest off speed ever is from Duran when he was on the Twins, when he threw 101-mile-an-hour splitter. There's 101. Joey's going to have to make a good play here. Nice play. That's the inning. Miz is at 59 pitches through 3, so not a bad pitch count for his standard. Not exactly efficient, but not horrible. I think I'm going to make a video one of these days about what I would do as commissioner of like college football, college baseball, NFL, MLB. Like what would I change? I think a lot of people hate Rob Manfred just because it's popular, the commissioner of the MLB. But I think for the most part, a lot of what he does has actually been pretty good. I talked the last time about how I really like the pitch clock a lot. I really like the bigger bases. I didn't really feel a need for them, but then now that they're here, I'm kind of here for it. Starting with a runner on second in extra innings, I totally get. It's not that I love it, but I understand it. You know, in every other sport, there is like different rules for overtime. You know, in college football, you start on the 25-yard line going in to the end zone. In the NFL, each team gets a shot, you know, and you got the whole, if you score a touchdown, they've got to score a touchdown. If you kick a field goal and they score a touchdown, they win, you know, and then the game's over. And if you can't do it in an overtime, I think is all you get, 10 minutes, extra 10 minutes, the game's over, and it's a tie. You know, in baseball, we're not, you know, you don't want ties, and so you got to come up with a way to quicken the extra gameplay. And I think starting with a guy on second, being the last out, is phenomenal. I think it's genius. I really do. So I think a lot of what Manfred does is, and what he has done, is actually helped the game a lot. But I think people just like to hate on him because it's popular. And I actually don't mind him much at all. So who we got coming up here? We had bases loaded last inning with 2 outs. Joey Ortiz struck out on a changeup looking. So whoever's hitting 9 hole, or unless Joey O was hitting 9. Oh yeah, Churio's up. Let's go. Real quick, the official drink of today's episode is Poppy, root beer Poppy. Poppy's pretty good, prebiotic soda. Whenever I get into the booth, the actual booth of a real sports game, I'll be drinking these and primarily brisk lemonade. It's a little weird. I'm commentating about a guy in the batter's box who's younger than me. Jackson Chourio is, well, he turned 22 in January, I believe. I think he's a month younger than me. So, pretty crazy. King, I don't know how old King is. I think he's in his 30s. He's been around the block a little bit. I don't know if he's always been a three-quarter pitcher, Michael King. I think that might have changed over time, but I guess I'm not sure. Man, that's a good pitch. That's a slider. Or a sweeper, it says. A sweeper is just a slider that moves a lot. And it's slower, loopier. But you see that a lot. I honestly don't know if Michael King's always been a three-quarter guy, but if he hasn't, that wouldn't surprise me because you see a lot of the times as guys age, as they get older, their arm slot will go from more up top to start to get more towards the three-quarter. I think it's just a little healthier for your arm. Kind of like throwing a football is from that three-quarter slot. As guys age, they just naturally kind of tend to move down the arm slot. You never really see guys go up. You even saw that from Skeens last year. He's a super young pitcher, but even just from 1 year, from his rookie year to his second year, his arm slot had dipped a little bit, and it actually caused him to lose a little bit of velo, it seemed like. It's back up, both the arm slot and the velo, so I don't know if there's direct correlation there or not, but it's a good at-bat. Full count changeup. Turang's coming up here. Dang, Yelich is hurt again. It's a ball. It's just precautionary. Yellie's not. I got the coughs. Yellie's not actually hurt. It's precautionary for a tight back. I understand that they'll keep him out. It's nothing like that big of a deal. But that's another arm side changeup that Michael King missed. And that's actually something that a lot of three-quarter guys are prone to. When you throw a three-quarter, your ball naturally is going to move more than someone who throws straight. When you throw straight, you're going to generally get higher spin rate. It's just how it seems to be. That it doesn't, just because you throw over the top doesn't mean you're automatically going to have a high spin rate. But more often than not, we see guys over the top have a high spin rate and a really true flat fastball. And then more of a 12-6 curveball with an up and down changeup. And then guys from the three-quarter slot, like King, tend to throw more sinkers that move a lot more than the over-the-top fastball, and their sweepers tend to move a lot more. Well, maybe not more, but just more uniquely than a traditional curveball. And then the changeups have the opportunity to be really, really effective to the arm side. We saw that all the time with what I think is the best changeup possibly ever with Devin Williams when he was on the Brewers. He was kind of a sling it across his body, three-quarter kind of guy. You don't really think of him as a three-quarter kind of pitcher, but he really was. Don't even throw that. And you saw it, with that three-quarter, he could turn his wrist over just like a football. He could pronate really well. And my goodness, could he get that ball to move a lot. But the only downside with that is, like we just saw with that changeup, you're really prone to miss arm side if you don't get on top of it. So they say. Um, and even with the fastball too, that sinker can just start riding in on right-handers and actually hit them a lot. I threw from a 3/4 arm slot, just because that was kind of natural to me, and I always had an issue missing arm side. A lot of that is probably just mechanical. You can miss arm side over the top too, but you're just a lot more prone to it from that arm slot like that because it's just natural for that ball to slip out easier and then ride to the right-handed batter's box and hit a guy. You see it with lefties from the 3/4 as well. And just because you throw 3/4 doesn't mean the ball's going to slip out. You can throw 3/4 and never have that issue, but it's just when it slips out, it's going to leak arm side and possibly hit guys. In the same breath, you can say guys that throw over the top, it can slip out and fastballs right up. And you can miss up in the zone a lot, which that's not ideal either. A guy like that for the Brewers is Trevor McGill. He throws straight from he's 6'8", he throws right from over the top. There's another arm side changeup that misses. See, and you can see him on the mound. He's doing this as if like he can't pronate it well. But Trevor McGill, a lot of times when he's not going well, his fastball is riding really high and he's missing high a lot. And he'll be hitting Contreras, up here in the face, kind of in the mask, as opposed to really letting his fastball get down in the zone at the knees and let it just ride and freeze guys at the bottom of the zone. I'd go change up here. Oh, he goes heater again. I don't think he has his changeup right now. That's good for the Brewers, but it's tough to be a starting pitcher if you don't have one of your 3 pitches. 2 pitches work in the bullpen, but generally not as a starter. Because when you're in the bullpen, guys will only see you one time, and 2 pitches is enough when someone's only seeing you one time. But when you're a starter, guys are going to see you 2 or 3 times, and they'll start to pick up on 2 pitches easier than 3 pitches, because there's less to pick up on. But when you only see him one time as a reliever, it doesn't really matter because they're only seeing you one time, obviously. Andrew Vaughn's on deck. Would love to get him up right here. I've been keeping tabs. I just posted a YouTube short. I've been keeping tabs on it. It got to like, I think that's there. It got to like 50 views within like 10, 12 minutes. So it's on a good trajectory right now. Oh, that's there. Well, that was 1 inning. I think we'll stay around for at least another half. I want to watch Miz pitch on camera. Mom just waved. Bogarts, Gavin Sheets, Castellanos. Sheets got a hit off Miz on a fastball. It was 1-2 count, and he threw 101 at the bottom of the zone. Sheets was able to get to it, and he backspun it into center field. One of the better swings I've seen this season. Let's check that YouTube short. Got to keep tabs on this. 108 views. Posted it not long ago. So it's pretty cool. Not that I'm that worried about views or anything, but I got a video uploading right now as we speak. It is the my ultimate college football road trip, so make sure to check that out. This video will be up after that, but basically just go over for the upcoming 2026 season. I go over the 20 biggest games that I would like to watch. Most of them are like big primetime games, like night games at LSU or like the Red River rivalry game or the game of all games, Michigan against Ohio State, but a couple of them are just like Notre Dame against Wisconsin. You know, I'm a Wisconsin guy. Or Texas Tech is playing Colorado at Folsom Field in Boulder during week 6, I believe. And I'm also a Colorado guy, so that's another game that I'd love to watch. So I've got a good combination of games that are near and dear to my heart, as well as games that are going to shape potentially the college football playoff, you know, and who's in and who's out, and just games that are going to be pure cinema. So I've got Lane Kiffin's return to Ole Miss in there. The SEC championship game rematch, Georgia versus Alabama. The Big Ten championship game from last year rematch, Indiana versus Ohio State. So lots of good games that I've got. I got 20 games in the 13 weeks that I'd love to go to, hypothetically. And I put together the ultimate road trip. Really fun video to make. Look at that. Bogart's hitting 5-hole again, just like I said last time. Joey O's always got his little pitch comm coming down. I don't know why, but I feel like that'd annoy me. Boy, nice night down in Milwaukee. It's absolutely beautiful here, too. As soon as I'm done with this video, I'm going for a walk. It's like 65 degrees out. Not a cloud in the sky, just sun setting. It's absolutely gorgeous. So I'm going to finish this video up and then go for a walk and catch the last few innings of the game. Well, I thought Contreras was going to challenge that. Yeah, that's there. Yeah, head tap. That's there. That's that fastball that just rides at the bottom of the zone, like I was talking about McGill. That's where you want your fastball to be. And then you freeze them just like that. Although that is what Gavin Sheets hit earlier. Oh yeah, that's a strike. Over half the ball's in there. And that's why I think that the ABS is so good, because you still have to deal with the human side of things. Like, you still have to deal with the human umpire, especially if you run out of challenges. But you can also challenge these subjective calls objectively with a perfect measure of balls and strikes with the ABS system. And then you have to use your human element too to know if you want to challenge them or not. You don't have a robot in your head saying challenge it, you know. That was on his fists. Not often you see an off speed on someone's knuckles like that. But when you throw a 96-mile-an-hour slider like I was talking about, that'll happen. David Gruber. But yeah, like, it's not taking away the human element of things. It's actually almost adding to it, because you have to use your discernment and judgment on balls and strikes even more now. So although the umpire human element side of things might be going down a little bit, the overall human experience of the game is actually going up, because now 2 humans are having input in balls and strikes as opposed to just 1, if that makes any sense. Ultimately, it comes down to an automatic, you know, kind of robot zone, but you've still got 2 subjective views on balls and strikes playing a role in this. And if the pitcher's challenging, you've got 3 of them. So that was a good inning. We'll watch one more half inning. We'll watch the Brewers hit. Look at that. When my family went, we parked right down there towards the back. It was a fun day. Brewers got the win against the Cardinals. Yelich went yard. That was 2019, so that was coming off his MVP year. He went yard. The Brewers won, I think, 4-3 or something like that. Josh Hader came in with the save. Yeah. That was a year after the Brewers made it to the NLCS against the Dodgers, and Brandon Woodruff hit that home run off of Kershaw. And I think it was game 6, or maybe it was game 7. I think it was game 6. Yeah, what a day. That was a really fun year. And then this past year in 2025, that was a really fun year as well. That playoff series against the Cubs are one of my least favorite franchises in all of sports. And so to beat the Cubs in game 5 at home in Milwaukee against a sold-out crowd, that was one of my favorite games I've ever seen in my life. I got that. Game 5 is up there. The Minneapolis Miracle, the Vikings in 2022 playing the Bills in Buffalo with Justin Jefferson's catch. I mean, yeah, I've watched some great games, but Game 5 was pretty awesome. And I got to watch it with some of my best friends down at school in River Falls. I got to watch it with them in one of my friends' houses. We all got together and we watched it in his living room, and we just went absolutely berserk after we won. And throughout the entire game, we were going nuts, counting down the outs. And when that last ball hit, whose glove was it in center field? Was it Churio? I think it was a fly ball to Churio, and he squeezed it, and we just went bananas. I've got the video on my phone. Just a great day. But then we got swept by the Dodgers, even though we swept them in the regular season. The only reason we swept them in the regular season is all their pitchers were hurt and they weren't healthy. We went 6-0 against them. And then all their guys get healthy. Blake Snell, Shohei, Yamamoto might have even been hurt. He got healthy. And then Glasnow, like they just sat us down. 1, 2, 3, 4 starters. It was nothing to remember, that's for sure. And then they obviously went on to win it. We'll see if they do it again this year. I don't know. That was almost challengeable. Garrett Mitchell, man, he cannot hit a fastball at the top of the zone. I don't think. I think I saw something that said he doesn't have a hit on a heater in the top half of the zone this year, or at least at the very top of the zone. And I'm no hitting guru. I can't just point to something and say that's it. That's why you're not doing it. If there was something, the hitting coaches in Milwaukee already would have pointed it out, I'm sure. A lot of it's, I don't know, just timing and being ready for it. All right, we'll do one more out and then call it. Yeah, that's a good pitch. He finally, look at that changeup. It's a seam shift. So he doesn't even, I don't know why he was mimicking a pronation. It's a seam shift, meaning, long story short, there's there's a lot of different kinds of changeups, but you can pronate a changeup where you roll your wrist over like a quarterback, or you can just roll it, have it be neutral, and you can just throw it like this, and then eventually the seams shift on their own, and it moves like a changeup. And that was a seam shift. He just rolled it like this. So I don't know why he was going like this after he missed a changeup, as if he's trying to pronate it. Maybe that's why his changeup was bad, because he was trying to pronate it when he's throwing a seam shift changeup. Because if you try to pronate a changeup like this, that's meant to be thrown like this, it does a whole lot of nothing and it just kind of floats. So maybe I don't know. I doubt that's the issue. Maybe it's just a feel thing versus real. I think Renjifo's been late on every heater he's seen today too. The only reason he got a hit was because Michael King ended up throwing a off speed after he was late on 3 straight fastballs, which made no sense at all. I like Renjifo, I do, but I think the Brewers also need a long-term answer at third. Third base is one of those positions where it's like that's got to be a cornerstone of your team. You'd feel like a guy who is a really good hitter. I move like a cutter, not a sinker. A guy who's a really good hitter, plays some really good defense. That's typical, but and maybe doesn't hit for the highest average. I don't know. Guys like Nolan Arenado come to mind, even though he hits for a high average. Maybe not anymore, but he used to. You just think of more of a cornerstone there rather than a hold me over guy. But I don't know. Maybe Renjifo will be here for a while. But anyways, that's going to do it for this. 24 minutes of talking ball. Not bad at all. The Miz is going to keep pumping. I'm going to go for a walk, and we'll come back and see what the score's at. But, yeah, that's going to do it for this video. I want to thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed watching the Brewers with me for a couple innings. Until I see you in the next video, have a great day. Stay safe. Take care. Watch some ball. Learn some ball. Give me a like. Give me a follow. Subscribe. Share it with your friends. And, have a good one. We'll see you next time. See ya.